We're on to section number 2, the nice part of the paper. Now this part right here, it says Marla buys 2 types of mobile phones. She buys B-Flow and C-Flex from a company to retail. It says one B mobile phone costs $60 while one C-Flex phone costs $80. She buys X number of B mobile phones and she also buys Y numbers of C-Flex phones. Marla must not spend more than $1,200. Write an inequality to represent this information. So the most amount of money that she spent is $1,200. So she spent less than or equal to $1,200. Now she buy X number of B phone. What's the cost of a B phone? A B flow phone costs $60. So that's 60X plus what's the cost of a C-Flex phone, which is Y? $80. So it's 80 times how much C-Flex phone should buy, which is Y. So that's an expression that represents Marla right there. 60X plus 80Y is less than 1,200. If you want it in its simplest form, if you want to simplify the equation, we can actually divide through by the highest common factor. I think the highest common factor seems to be 20. If we divide through by 20, 60 divided by 20 would be 3X plus 80 divided by 20 would be 4Y less than or equal to 1,200 divided by 20. I think that's 60. All I did was just put it in its simplest form. Now let's hear what they say right here. They say the number of B-Flow phones, remember, B-Flow phones that she bought is X. So the number of B-Flow phones, X, must be greater than or equal to the C-Flex phones. So it must be greater than or equal to Y. So that's the next equation. X is greater than or equal to Y. Okay, so good so far. The next part says, represent the 2 inequalities on the page right here. So represent it on the graph. Oh, wow. So we need to represent X is greater than or equal to Y. And we also need to represent, 3X plus 4Y less than or equal to 60. Now, what I love for us to do is to think about it, the line. Think about this line right here. So I'm just gonna go to the whiteboard just for a split sec. If you had a line right here, let's go to the next page right here. If you were to look at this line, 3X plus 4Y equal to 60. Ignore the less than or equal to. If you made Y the subject, you'd have 4Y is equal to 60 minus 3X. And 4Y being 60 minus 3X, if you divide both sides by 4, Y would be 15 minus 3 over 4 times X. All we did was divide both sides by 4. And so what we end up get is Y is negative 3 over 4X plus 15. All right? So this is it right here. Y is negative 3X over 4 plus 15. So this is pretty much the line that we need to draw. Y equal to negative 3 over 4X plus 15. So that's the line that we need to draw. All right? That is the line that we need to draw. In other words, the inequality that we're going to draw is if we brought it over, we're drawing that Y is less than or equal to negative 3 over 4X plus 15. So we have that out of the way so far. So we need to draw the line Y is less than or equal to negative 3 over 4X plus 15. So of course that would pass through the point 15 right here. When X is 0, Y would be 15. That's right here. Let's look at the next point. When X is 1, if you were to put in when x is 1, let me just bring up the calculator so you can see how I'm actually plotting. What we're saying is, all we're doing is substituting different values for x to see how the graph looks. So here, -3/4 times when x is 0 plus 15, that's going to give you 15. Now when x is 1 right here, that's going to give you 57/4, in other words, 14.25. 14.25 on the graph when x is 1 is, wait, but they don't give us, they're giving us different values of x like 0, 5, 10, and 15. So only use those values. Let's plug in when x is 5 then. When x is 5, that gives us that y is, go on this, 11.25. So when x is 5, y is 11.25. This is 10. This is 12.5. 11.25 is in the middle. So somewhere right here. Somewhere right there. Now when x is 10, we put in 10 in this equation. So take over our calculator. Let's put in 10. Doop, doop. We put in 10. That's 7.5. See it here? 7.5. So in x is 10, y is 7.5. 7.5 is right here. So they will put in 15 now. Let's see what going on when x is 15. When x is 15, we can put in 15 in here. Put in 15, that's 15/4, that's 3.75. So when x is 15, y is 3.75. 3.75 would be, let me see, this 3.7, this is 2.5, 3.75 is here. Then when x is 20, well, actually, you don't even need to put in when x is 20 because we already catch the pattern. But just to say you wanted to put it in, you could put in when x is 20. You end up getting that y is 0. Because we already saw the pattern and see that this would have been 0 here. But all we need to do now is to draw this line. So let's just go ahead and draw the line. The line is going to be, this is the line. Oh, you notice I plot the 11.25 point wrong? Oh my sweet Lord, I actually plotted this point wrong. So that would be the line, all right? And remember this line right here, so now, this line, let's write it in black. This represents the inequality. It's 3x plus 4y less than or equal to 60. In other words, y is less than or equal to -3/4x plus 15. Since y is less than that, we know that we're below this line. We are below it. We are below because y have to be less than. Okay, since y have to be less than, we're below that line. The next line that we need to draw is x equal to y. A lot of people like to call it y equal to x. So to draw the line x equal to y, all you have to make sure is, let's use a different color for that. Let's use blue. If we're using blue, that means when x is 5, y is 5. When x is 0, y is 0. When x is 10, y is 10. When x is 15, y is 15. Let me say 15 to 15 is right here. And then when x is 20, let's continue this line. When x is 20, y is also 20. Why does this line look like this? I want to continue with this line. When x is 20, y is also 20. So I need to get 10, 10. This don't look 100% straight. I need to get 10, 10. I need to get 15, 15. So this is 15. This is 15. This is a lot. This is a lot straighter here. 10, 10, 15, 15, and so forth. And remember, this inequality is x is bigger than y. X is greater than or equal to y. If x is greater than or equal to y, where do we lie? The x have to be bigger than the y. So we're below the line again because x is bigger than the y. So we're below this line. So we're below these two lines. So we're below this line and we're below this line. So now we need the common region. We need the common region because out here would be when y is bigger than x. X needs to be bigger than the y. So since x is bigger than the y, we'll have to be below this region. Below this region would be all of this triangle. And below this region would be all of this. So the common portion is, this is not in common with the two of them. So what's in common is over here. So this shaded part, I'm going to shade it now. This shade part would represent the common region, this shade part. And they say we need to label this common part as R. So we can call it R. Let's use a different color to label it. Put R in the middle. This part that we just shade is R. And that's 4 marks. We really didn't do anything, but we get 4 marks. Okay. And remember, this is where x is greater than or equal to y. All right, or some people like to say y is less than or equal to x. Whichever way you prefer to say it, doesn't matter. Okay, that's the common region. Now it says the total number of mobile phones is represented by x plus y. According to the graph, what is going to be the largest possible value of x plus y? So what we need to examine is what can be the largest possibility of x plus y. Let's examine this right here. Let's examine. Let me bring this down. Let's examine at different points. Let's examine at this point right here. I know it's not, remember my graph is not 100%. It's not 100% accurate. It should have passed through this point right here. So since it's not 100%, this should have been the intersection point. This is not 100%, so this should have been the intersection point. This is when the x value is, go down, go down, go down. 5, 6, 7. Is this 8? No. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is 4 going across. So this would be 7.5. This would be 8.75. That's when x is 8.75. Then y is going to be at this point, y is from 10 here, this is also 8.75. So at this point, x plus y would be 8.75 plus 8.75. We just bring up our calculator and check it out. 8.75 plus 8.75. And we add those, and we get 17.5. So that's one possibility of x plus y. Now, is it the largest? We don't know. Let's check out at this point right here. At this point, remember, this is also a common region. This is also a common region. If this is the point right here when x is what, 20? When x is 20 right here, look at this. When x is 20 and the y value is 0, then 20 plus 0 is 20. So this point already bigger. This point already bigger. Okay. So now we need to find, are there any point that's going to give us a value where x plus y is bigger than 20? Let's check out at this point right here. This is when x is 15. This is when x is 15 and the y value is 3.75. 3.75. Now, as you can see, if you're to add them, 3.75 and 15, 3.75 plus 15, that is giving us 18.75. No, no way. That's 18.75. So clearly, this is the largest possibility of x plus y. The largest possible value is 20. So now we can write it down. By looking at it, the largest possible value is 20. So x plus y has to be less than or equal to 20. to the largest possible value, largest possible value is 20. That's your answer. Nice. Now, of course, guys. All right, now let's look at this right here. It says the table below shows pairs of values of the function y equal x squared plus x minus 4. It says on the grid, we need to plot the remaining 4 points, but they already give you all the points. You just need to plot them. So to plot the remaining 4 points, all we need to do is go back and look at when x is 0, y is -4. So when x is 0, y is -4. Go around here, when x is 1, y is -2. When x is 1, y is -2. When x is 2, y is 2. When x is 2, y is 2. When x is 3, y is 8. When x is 3, y is 8. That's right here. And all we need to do now is, it says on the grid, plot the remaining 4 points and draw the graph. So now we can just draw the graph. So we just connect the curve. We create our smooth curve. And that's our graph right there. Okay, this is going to be our graph. All right, nice. So that's our smooth graph. It says write down now the maximum or minimum value. Now right here, based on the graph, it smiles. And so this is the minimum value. This right here would have to be a minimum value. From our graph, we're seeing that the minimum value based on our graph is when y is this value. So when x is -1/2, the corresponding y value is the minimum value. All right. So to get that exact y value, look what you can do. This is how you're going to play gimmicks on them. We're going to play little gimmicks, right? We'll take out our calculator and we'll put in a half right here. So when x is 1/2, so we have 1/2 square plus 1/2 minus 4. We put that in our calculator, we get -3.25. Sorry, -1/2 plus x right there. I didn't put the -1/2. -1/2. This is going to give us the minimum y value. Here it is. The minimum y value is -4.25. All right. So this is the minimum y value. When x is -1/2, the y value is -4.25. 4.25 can be written as -17/4. So this right here is a minimum y value. So we can go back and tell them that the minimum is -4.25. So the minimum value is equal to -4.25. That's it. Now the next part says, using a ruler, draw the axis of symmetry on the graph. The axis of symmetry is where the graph gets cut in half. The graph gets cut in half right here, so the axis of symmetry, let's draw it. We're going to draw it in black. So let's use black, or let's use blue. This is the axis of symmetry. And if you wanted to label this equation, the axis of symmetry is the line x equal to, let's put it, the axis of symmetry is x equal to -1/2. That's the axis of symmetry, x equal to -1/2. Right? That's the axis of symmetry. Nice. X equal to -1/2. So just to make them know, so you know what you're talking about, you can actually just write it right here and tell them that the axis of symmetry is x equal -1/2. That's the axis of symmetry. And you put it on and you draw the line. So the straight line there, that's the axis of symmetry. Nice. And this takes care of question number 8. Nice.